I believe there's some explanation for this universe.
Elon Musk just shared something shocking, and it leads us straight to Mel's hole. For years, people have wondered about this strange pit, full of mystery, secrets, and cover-ups. It's bottomless and mysterious. Now, Musk speaks out. "It's time to share the truth," he said, after sending a drone deep inside. What did it find? Something no one expected. Let's find it out together. In 1997, Mel Waters called a late-night radio show, Coast to Coast AM. His voice shook.
They wouldn't go anywhere near the damn thing, and if I try to bring them there on a leash, they'll just dig their feet in. They do not want to go anywhere near the hole.
The host, Art Bell, could hear the fear. Mel had found something strange on his land near Ellensburg, Washington. A hole with no bottom. At first, it was just there. People threw trash in. Hunters tossed animal remains. No one thought much about it. Until Mel tried to measure how deep it was. He lowered a fishing line with a weight. It kept going. At 1,500 feet, it's still falling. At 5,000 feet, there's no bottom. At 10,000 feet, nothing. And even at 80,000 feet, it keeps falling. A hole that deep shouldn't exist. Scientists would say the heat and pressure should collapse it. But it was real. And it was not just deep. It was different. Animals stayed away. Sounds around it felt strange. People whispered about things thrown in that didn't stay gone. Sometimes weird noises rose from below. Low hums, echoes, sounds that didn't belong underground. Then Mel saw something. Something that changed everything. He had to tell someone. That phone call turned his life upside down. People listened. Then people watched. And soon, everything spun out of control. Years later, the mystery returned. And this time, Elon Musk got involved. Why? Because he saw something. But before we get to that, there's something you need to know. Mel's hole was not just a hole. It kept taking and never gave back. People threw junk into it. Old furniture, broken things, stuff they didn't need. But they never heard a sound. No splash, no thud, just gone. They joked about it. That hole? It never ends.
It equated to the amount that he bought was 80,000 feet long.
What?
Never touched the bottom.
Central
No
Washington?
way.
But those who stood near it felt something strange. For Mel, it stopped being a joke when his neighbor shared a story. The man had a dog, a good, strong dog. It got sick and died, so he wrapped it up and dropped it in the hole. That should have been it. But a few days later, he saw the dog again. Same fur, same markings, but something was off. It didn't listen. It didn't know him.
That his dog died and he threw the dog down the hole. And then he said the next morning that dog was on his porch.
What?
Like
Alive.
alive?
Alive.
He told only a few people, but they believed him. Because Mel had seen weird things too. He watched the hole. Birds never flew over it. They changed direction as if something pushed them away or pulled them in. Then, the radio started acting up. Mel carried a small radio. One day, it picked up strange voices. Not English, not any language he knew. The closer he got, the clearer the voices became, like whispers in his ear. Then, silence. But the worst part? The feeling. People near the hole felt a pull, like standing on a cliff and wanting to jump. Like something below wanted them. One man had a dream. He fell into the hole, fell forever. And at the bottom, something waited. Mel knew this was no ordinary hole. And soon, others would know too. Because years later, Elon Musk found out the truth. And everything changed. Mel thought it was just a weird hole, nothing more. First, small things. Strange cars near his land. People staring at the gas station. Maybe hunters, maybe surveyors, he told himself. Then came the helicopters, low, slow, watching. One day, he came home. Men were waiting, armed. No badges, not cops, not military. But they knew his name. They knew everything. One man stepped forward, calm, cold. He told Mel to leave right away. Mel refused. This was his land, his home. The man didn't argue, just handed him a paper, big words, legal stuff. Something about the government taking over. One thing was clear, Mel had no choice. If he fought back, that's when they got serious. One man pulled him aside, spoke softly. This wasn't a warning, it was a promise. If he wanted life to stay normal, if he wanted his family safe, he had to forget the whole, forget everything. Two choices, leave quietly or face problems no one talks about. Mel understood. He left. He packed his things and walked away. Just like that, the whole was no longer his. Then, weeks later, something strange happened. They offered him money, a lot, more than his land was worth. Free medical care, no questions. It seemed too good, too perfect. That's how they keep you quiet, not just threats, money. For a while, Mel disappeared, kept quiet, but he never forgot. And he kept hearing whispers. The hole wasn't empty. It was guarded. People worked there. But why? What was inside? Years passed. Then, something unexpected happened. Someone important started asking questions. Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you. Elon Musk. He had resources Mel didn't. Satellites, tech, information. And when he finally spoke, he didn't just hint at a mystery. He said something that made everyone shiver. The land around Mel's hole felt different. It wasn't just closed off, it felt wrong. People who lived nearby noticed the air was heavy. The silence lasted too long. Even the sky seemed strange. An old rancher spoke up first. He told a friend he saw something rise from the hole one night. Not light, darkness. A thick black beam shot into the sky and disappeared. It sounded crazy, but others saw it too. Some said it looked like a shadow going up instead of down. Others thought it was clear, like a tear in the air. Mel was far away, but he heard the stories. The government had locked the place down. But the hole? It was still doing its thing. Then came the ice. That's what people called it. Some locals found it near the hole before the area was closed off. It looked like ice, cold, smooth like glass. But no heat could melt it. One man took some home. He wanted to test it with a welding torch. He put it on a metal table and turned the flame on full blast. The table melted first. The ice? Still there. Days later, his house burned down. No one knew why. But some thought the ice reacted to fire. No one knew where it came from. Maybe it was pulled up from the hole. Maybe it was part of an experiment. The government took over. Armed guards. No news, no answers. Then one night, a deep boom echoed through the hills. Not a gunshot, not a plane. Something bigger, like the ground swallowed something whole. But the hole? It was still there, waiting. People stopped asking, or maybe they were told not to. Whatever started, it wasn't over. It had only just begun. And somehow Elon Musk knew. But before we talk about that, there's more you need to know. Because Mel's hole, it wasn't the only one. Mel thought the mystery was behind him. The government took his land, sealed the hole, and stopped any talk about it. People didn't believe him or just didn't care. Years later, he heard a rumor, not about his hole, but about another. This hole was in Nevada, deep in the desert. It wasn't just hidden, it was guarded. Mel wasn't alone in finding something secret. The man who found this hole used many names. He never stayed long in one place. He spoke like someone was always watching him. Maybe they were. He said something that caught Mel's attention. The second hole wasn't just deep, it was alive. There were lights, strange sounds, and a low hum that you could feel in your chest. The things thrown in, they didn't come back, not the same. The man threw a tool inside to test it. Minutes later, it came back, but it was changed, smooth edges, refined. The man stopped. He stopped testing. He stopped talking. He disappeared. No warning, no trace. Mel knew what that meant. But it also meant more. This wasn't just his hole. There were others. If two were known, how many more were hidden, buried beneath military sites, locked away from the world? And the biggest question, what was inside? People have always tried to explain things they didn't understand. Mel's hole was one of them. At first, some thought it was just a sinkhole or a volcanic vent, but it didn't explain why objects thrown in didn't make a sound or why animals stayed away. It didn't explain the strange way radios acted or why the government moved so fast. Then came darker thoughts. Some believed the hole was a tunnel to somewhere else, maybe an underground cave or something worse. Others said the hole wasn't a place at all. It was a machine. The metal edges, the strange objects that came back changed, the ice that never melted. These things didn't happen by chance. And then there was an old story. People had known about the hole long before Mel spoke about it. Local tribes told stories of a place where things vanished, where the dead weren't truly gone, and something watched from below. Mel didn't know these stories before his discovery, but after hearing them, he felt the hole had been there long before him. If that's true, who put it there? And what was it waiting for? People tried to forget. The government sealed off the area and hid the truth. But some things can't stay buried. The hole isn't finished. That's when Elon Musk stepped in. He didn't rely on rumors. He had the means to look deeper. And when he did, he found something no one expected. He found proof. For years, Mel's hole was just a mystery. People talked about it in whispers. No one had photos or proof, only strange stories. Then Elon Musk got involved. At first, no one knew. He kept quiet about it. But something caught his attention. Maybe it was the government's secret. Maybe it was strange materials found there. Or maybe he heard something that made him want to check it out. Here's what we know. He sent a drone into the hole. But not just any drone. This was a special, high-tech drone made for tough places with no GPS or light. It was made for space, not caves. The footage? It started as expected, an endless, dark tunnel. The walls were smooth, almost perfect, like they were carved by something. Then the drone found something else. A signal. It wasn't radio or anything normal, just a pattern like a heartbeat. And then, as the drone went deeper, it stopped sending signals. Gone. No crash, no sudden loss of signal, just silence. That's when Elon Musk said, "I'll show you what the drone found in Mel's hole. It's scary, and now it's time to tell you." He didn't say much else, but his words were enough. There's something down there, something we don't get. And then, we aren't ready for what's at the bottom. He didn't call it alien or supernatural. He didn't need to. The fact that it was there, doing something, was enough. The government kept it a secret for a reason. The stories weren't made up. Something about this hole isn't right, and whatever it is, it's still waiting. If Elon Musk says we aren't ready for what's at the bottom, the real question is, who or what has been waiting for us to find it? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe. See you next time.